Hello everyone, this is Andres Marquez, and today I'd love to show you a pretty cool concept that I'm sure is going to help your business to position itself like the right choice to your customers. So today masterclass is named How to Use Storytelling to Clarify Your Message, Engage with Your Audience, and Sell More. And probably at this point, you might have some idea of storytelling, but what we're just gonna cover today, it might be a little bit different of that. So basically, this is just gonna be a formula so you can garner attention to otherwise distracted customers. It'll also make sure people see your business. It'll give you more visibility and clarity in the message. And it'll also have the confidence that prospects understand your offer and value, so they have to engage with your products and services, and at the end of the day, they will buy. So why this is so important? Probably at this point you've already heard, or you might also have in place in your business, Facebook ads, messenger bots, sales funnels, marketing automation systems. Maybe you already have a booking system in place in your business, and of course you might already have your website and your landing pages and all this until now. But the truth is that none of this is gonna work, or at least is going to work the right way, unless you have the right elements and the right chain optimized within your business. So to me, there are three main elements that you should be paying attention right now in your business, and that clearly should be optimized, and they should be done in the same order that you're just going to cover in just in a minute. So the first of them is branding and positioning. And perhaps this might or might not be the same concept you have of it. And for any reason, most of the people have the concept of branding just like the colors you use in your website, like the identity of your brand, like the look of your website and all this. But at the end of the day, even though that is just a little part of the branding and positioning of your business, it's all about building desire and trust. Desire on your product, like people have that feeling that they truly want your product, but it's also about that they just feel like they are just doing a trustworthy decision when they buy. So at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, that they just feel desire, but they also aware that it's just like the best decision and the right choice for them. And of course, without a doubt, this is the first step you should be working on. And that's mainly what we're just going to be working on today, just in a little bit more. The second element that you should be focusing right now in your business is marketing funnels. And this, again, might or might not be like the right concept you have of it. And for some people, it's just like a bunch of web pages and automation put in place so your business can sell in autopilot. And this is true. But the most important concept here is that marketing funnels is just about crafting the right sequence and the perfect offer. The right sequence to turn completely strangers not only into buyers, not only into customers, but also into raving fans and advocates of your business. And once you have put in place all your branding and positioning, and once you have optimized it, you'll be able to translate all that into your marketing funnels, okay? And the third step is paid advertising. So of course, there are a lot of acquisition channels right now, either is via content marketing or via influencers and all that. One of my favorite channels of acquisition is paid advertising, and it's because you can have a lot of control within the process. So the idea with paid advertising is that you help the ideal customer find you so your business sell more. So these three elements are just the key to thrive, to help you thrive in your business, and they should be optimized within that same order, okay? So once you have optimized your branding and positioning, you'll be able to translate all that into your marketing funnels. And once you have your systems in place, you'll be able to get or buy that media so they can go through those systems. So today, specifically, we're just going to be talking about branding and positioning, because this is just 3 elements. Even though they're just pretty important, it's just too much information to cover right now in just a single masterclass. So first, you should be just clarifying your message and positioning your business the right way before you can just start just digging into the other elements, so your business go through the right path. Okay, so again, we're just gonna be covering or just helping you boost your positioning and your branding through storytelling. And as I already told you, this might be just a little bit different than you already know about storytelling, and we're just gonna cover that in just a minute, okay? But let's start with this. Once you complete this process, once you implement what we're just gonna cover today in this masterclass, for sure you'll have a clear message and a catchy value proposition. You'll craft the right website copy. So this is just gonna help you not just to have like a fancy, good-looking website, but just like to put in place the right words, so it just truly becomes like the right selling machine for your business. Okay. You can also use this in your email blast, the sales pages, the landing pages, and so on. So all the content and all the outcome that you're just gonna develop at the end of this masterclass is just gonna help you to put them in place in all your marketing collateral, okay? And you also define the value and get to know better your customers and how you can help them thrive. Okay, so to do so, let's start talking about of the different elements that a successful story has, and then we're just gonna go deeper to see how you can use those elements within your business just to define your branding and your positioning strategy. Okay, so let's start with the first. Every successful story has a character. Every successful story has a hero, okay? And the most important thing to embrace here is that your customer is going to be the hero of your story, okay? For any reason, some businesses positioning themselves just like the hero of the story, and this is the worst thing you can do because at that moment you'll be competing against your customer. So the idea is that in your story, in your business, the prospect or your customer is always going to be the hero, the main character of your story. Okay, we're just gonna talk about how deeper about any of these elements later on, but right now let's just go like going over them. Okay. The second thing of a successful story is a problem. Otherwise, it will be so boring. So every successful story has a problem, or of course has a character who has a problem. Of course, in order to solve that problem, there's going to be a guide. Here is where your business comes in place. Your business is going to be the guide in the story, not the hero, but the guide. And of course, you're going to understand the fear of the character of the hero, which is your customer, and you are going to help them thrive. You're just going to give them a plan, and if they follow their plan, they're just going to have like a two-way path. Either they're just going to thrive and have success, and of course, just going to go deeper on that in just a little bit, or they might face failure. Okay, so if they follow your plan, if they just get your product, if they just get your service, which is going to help them solve their problem, they either have success if they do so, or if they just desire to pass on this time, they might be stuck within the same problem, or they might just face like a worse failure right now. Okay, so before going deeper into every one of these elements of the story and how you can just use them to clarify your message and to develop your brand and positioning strategy, let's talk about this before. Okay, so the idea of your business, of the reason of your business, is to help the customer, which is the character in your story, to solve their problem. So of course, there are two states here that your customer is gonna face. They have a before state and they have an after state. The before state is basically their zero state, or the state where they have not buy or they have not consumed your product or your service yet. And of course, once they buy it, once they consume it, it's gonna be their after state. So the idea here is to identify what do they have before and what do they have after they buy your product or service? How do they feel before and how do they feel after? How is their average day before and after? And of course, how is their status before and after? And we're just gonna see in a minute a clear example of this. But before, let's talk why this is important. And this is important for two main reasons, actually. First is because it's going to help you develop your copy. I'm not a copywriter, and to be honest, this is the thing that I hate the most about marketing, copywriting. But once you identify these elements, once you know how you affect them before and after, and once you put this in place in this pretty cool grid, basically your copy is gonna write by itself. So it's very helpful for that. And on the second place, is gonna help you solve one of the most common problems that some entrepreneurs have when they are just launching or putting into the market a new product or service, which is the price. Sometimes you might have faced that you're just already developed your product, but you're just hesitating about what should be the right price for it. And the truth is that you're just actually solving a gap. The bigger the gap is between the before and the after state, the higher is going to be the price that you can charge for your product or your service, okay? So this will also help you understand those elements and will give you a confidence to put the right price to your offer. So this might look a little bit confusing right now, but what I want to do right now is to show you a video which is by far my favorite marketing video because it covers all those elements perfectly and displays like a truly scene of empathy with the customer or with the prospect. So what I want to do now is just gonna have pause this video so you can just watch the video I'm talking about, and I'll be just right back in a minute to see how they use these elements on this grid to position themselves as the right choice to their customer, and to develop some grade of empathy to them. Okay, so this is a video from Chatbox. I don't know if you know the company or not, but this is just pretty good marketing in there. So let me just go ahead and pause the video, and I'll be with you just in a minute.
I have 3 kids and I work from home, so people always ask me how I stay so calm and organized. I'm kidding. Do you think I have time for a bath? I'm fully clothed. I fell in the tub while I was timing my son holding his breath. 26 seconds! Now go fetch Mommy's hairdryer. Motherhood goes by too fast. I haven't slept more than 4 hours in 12 years.
My diet consists of the protein bars and pita chips I inhale in the dark in my pantry.
And my children are growing like weeds, but I barely have enough time to keep them alive, let alone print pictures of them.
Because here's the problem.
What the fork? Making photo books sucks.
It sucks.
Don't say suck. They're designed for moms with lots of free time. Imaginary moms.
What?
My hedgehog.
Really?
Formatting them takes hours.
It may push some buttons. In the end, they easily cost $50. So when Sarah does something adorable, I have to say, that's cute, but not $50 cute. But at least scrapbooking's great if you have no job or no kids, so not great.
Jeffrey, put down the crossbow.
I am so tired. Don't get me wrong, I love Instagram, but my kids never see our photos. They refuse to follow me.
Hi, Jeffrey! You're doing great!
But now there's a solution I do have time for because it takes no time. Introducing Chatbooks, the app that automatically creates quality photo books from your phone. Chatbooks is shockingly easy because you already did the work when you took the photos. Chatbooks creates and ships a photo book to you
every time you add 60 photos to Instagram, Facebook, or your phone favorites.
It even includes the original dates and captions. It's like getting a magazine subscription to your own life. Thank you.
Why is Dad wearing a dress?
Okay, that's me. All right, the short hair was a mistake, okay? Unlike a photo book site, the Chatbooks app takes only 30 seconds to set up, and you do it once. 30 seconds to record the lives of your kids. Technically, that's less time than it actually took to make the kids.
How do you make kids?
What?
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 So if you love your kids, or think you someday might, click the install button here. Or search Chatbooks in the App Store or Google Play to install the Chatbooks app today. What's awesome is your Chatbooks require 0 formatting. And if you're saying no formatting, that's the only reason I do photo books, then this isn't for you, freak mom. These books are already beautifully designed. Did you do it? Do we get to do the potty dance?
No!
Plus, these Chatbooks cost just $8. That's what you'd pay for a day's worth of diapers, except you fill Chatbooks with the kind of crap you care about. How about...
Go away! Mush, 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 mush!
Then your photo books won't just be for special occasions. They'll be for all the quirky daily stuff you and your family care about. Yes, it's that easy. It really prints and ships your photo books without you having to lift a finger. Thank you.
Jeffrey, get off the roof.
Okay.
Every time a Chatbook is shipped, you'll be notified with enough time to edit your order. And if you're not satisfied, you can always get your money back with our Love Chatbooks guarantee. That was really stupid. Chatbooks are made with the same paper and ink as photo books 5 times their price. So you can spend the savings on your little thumb suckers.
Suck!
Don't say suck. My family's life is insane, and I want to hold on to every single freaking stupid, stressful, beautiful moment, and now I can. You can install Chatbooks directly from this video. Click the install button here, or tap the screen once and click the visit advertiser link here. Chatbooks, live your life and let Chatbooks print it. Oh, hi there. This is an actual bubble bath since Chatbooks gave me the time for them. In fact, I'm ordering one now, and I'm done. I did not think that through.
Okay, hello again. This is Andres here. And I don't know what are your thoughts about that video, but for me as a marketer, this is just pure magic. I've seen a lot of videos, pretty well deployed, but this is my favorite by far because it clearly states every one of these single items, even the before and of course the after. So in the video you can just see what she has, how she feels, her average day, what's her status, and we're just gonna cover each one of them in just a minute. But I just love that video. So let's start with the half. So what they're selling is just to download an app where she can just do her photo books in a better way and a cheaper way. So the half is basically their main problem, okay? And we're just gonna talk about the different problems and how you can address in just a little bit more. But the main problem is that the other solutions, so they can have a pretty cool and nice looking photo books, are just a little bit expensive and they are just hard to develop. So maybe her before state is just an unclear solution on how to do their photo books, and of course the after is just the easy way using their app to have them. How about the feel? It clearly shows how she feels, and of course there's more about the empathy than just how she feels before and after the product. And of course she feels stressed, she feels so tired, and basically her average day is just a chaos taking care of her kids. She doesn't have much sleep, and she's all over the place just watching their kids that they don't get in trouble. And of course the status is just maybe she might be not considered just like a pretty cool mom because she's always over the place. She's always telling their kids what to do and how to do it. So basically her status might be thought as not a pretty cool mom. And of course in the after where the life is just pretty much cooler at the end of the video, where you can see that she already have time to take a bath. Well, she's just happier, of course, by the product she just got. Her status might be just more like a cool mom, okay? So this is by far my favorite video because of that, because it showcases like the different states in the before and the after. And even though the problem is just about the photo book and the solution to have pretty cool photos and pretty cool memories, they just go deeper in there and just cover all the aspects and all the not the product features, but all the aspects of the main character, which is here are the moms. Okay, so they go very deep in there. They establish a pretty cool connection with the character, with all the moms. And I just thought it was just a pretty cool video to show you how you can use the before and the after state on every of the different like slots you have in the grid. So you can just have an idea how you just should deploy this. And by that, I don't mean that you should just go ahead and develop a pretty huge, expensive video to your business, but at least just to have in mind how do you affect the life of your customer before and after in the different ways. What do they have? How do they feel? What's their average day and what's their status? Once you complete this, and you should totally do it, I really encourage you to complete this grid, you'll be in a better position just to like develop the right words to position your product in a better way. And of course, to find out if the price point you're just thinking about your product is just the right, okay? So I really encourage you to complete this. And once you have this done, you'll be able to do what we're just gonna go about to cover next, which is again go back to the concept of the story. So as we already mentioned, every successful story has a character. If you just take that video as an example, of course the characters there are just moms, okay? The character is not just like the mom of the video, but just moms in general. And of course, they want a lot of bunch of things. If you just refer to that product, maybe they might be wanting a great way to keep their memories, their family memories, to have a better solution, to just like have pretty cool photos in a very affordable and an easy way. So that might be just like what they want, or at least for that product, okay? And now they have a problem. And we see that there's like 3 different levels of the problem, which are pretty cool, because once you understand this, you'll be able to connect in a better way and to position your product in just the best way possible to guarantee pretty cool sales in your business. Okay, so there are 3 main categories, if you will, of the problem. And the first is the external problem. So if you refer to that video, basically the external problem is just the tangible problem. So for that mom in the video, the problem or the external problem is that she doesn't have a great way to keep their memories, their family memories. They don't have like a truly easy, non-expensive solution to have those photos, those memories. So that be their external problem, which is the tangible problem, and which usually is the problem that your service or your product is going to solve. Okay, so usually the external problem is the one that your product or service is going to solve. But if you go a little bit deeper in there, we're just gonna find the internal and the philosophical problem. And this is pretty important, because if you understand which are those and how to address them within your marketing collateral, you're just gonna connect in a better way with your audience, and you're just gonna skyrocket your sales. Okay, so the internal problem, if you go back to the grid that we just saw, the internal problem has to do a lot of the way she feels, has to do a lot about the average day, and this is pretty much like, if you refer to the video, is like her internal problem. If we take this like our example, her internal problem is that she is so stressed, that her day is just a mess. She doesn't have any time for her. She can do the things that she really want to do. She's just very agitated. She doesn't have a very good habits, maybe. So that's their internal problem. And when they do that in the video, they're not just showcasing the external problem, which is the photo thing, but they're just connecting in a deeper way, showing the internal problem of the character, okay? And the philosophical problem, it's just a little bit more deeper. And it might also have, if you refer back to our grid, it might also refer to the status. So for that mom, maybe is her days is just a chaos. She doesn't have a lot of time for her. But her philosophical problem is that even though her day is a mess, at the end of the day, she really wants to take care of their kids. So even though she might hate something about her days or some things about her days, she truly loves their kids, and she have to to live with it. So that's in a deeper sense her problem. So you can showcase, and you should showcase, the external problem that your audience have, that your ideal customer has, and of course that the ones that your problem that your product or service is going to solve. But you should also include the internal and the philosophical problem within your marketing, because you're just gonna connect in a deeper way. You're just gonna establish more empathy with your audience. And once you touch the internal and the philosophical problem, there's nothing else that can be between your business and the sales, okay? So this is pretty important. The external is going to be the problem that the tangible problem that your product or service is going to solve. The internal has to do the way your audience feels and what's their average day before. That's their problem. And the philosophical has to do with a lot of with the status. And once they just go ahead and consume your product or services, of course, they're just going to feel different. And we're just going to cover that in just a minute, okay? But this is pretty important. So always, always, always take in mind, you should be showcasing their external problem, but you should always include the internal and the philosophical problem, okay? Now let's talk about the guide. So on that video, the guide, it's the mom, which is just representing the company and the product that they have. And first, she's got empathy, but she also has authority. Okay, so she's got empathy because she's facing the same problems other moms, which are the character of the story, have. Okay, she's facing the external problem, which is the problem with the photo albums and all this, but she's also facing, and most importantly, she's facing the internal and the philosophical problem. That's the empathy, and they are just showcasing that in a pretty amazing way on that video. Okay, but she also has authority. What's the authority on the video? Well, she already solved the problem. She already has the app that is going to solve their problem. So she's positioning as just the guide and the solution to solve maybe not all the problems, because they're not going to solve the internal and the philosophical problem with their product, but they're just going to help moms feel better, at least with this aspect. Okay, so that's the guide in our story. Now the plan. The plan is usually better showcased when you put one of those 1, 2, 3 steps in your marketing. Their plan is show at the end of the video, which is like download our app. You have to pay $8 a month, and you will receive a photo album every month in the mail. So that's their plan. Download the app, sign up, and receive a photo album. So for your business, again, is going to be a plan where you're just going to take your character into a journey, and once they just go through this journey, they're just going to solve partially or most of their problem. Okay? A call to action. Of course, and at the end of the video, the call to action is very clear. It's just download the app. For your business is going to be the call to action you feel is the most appropriate to set at the beginning of your marketing funnel. So let's say if you're a consultant, if you're a coach, maybe the most logical call to action is just to book an appointment. So that'd be your call to action. If you're just, I don't know, if you have an e-commerce store or something like that, was okay, the most logical call to action will be just shop now, maybe. That depends the way you set your marketing funnel. and that depends especially the way you set your plan. And we're just taking that video as an example, but in just a minute, we're just gonna go a little bit deeper with another examples on how you can just showcase this, but just to take in mind. And finally, there's the two-way path they can take. They can either just take the product or they just cannot. So if they do, they're just gonna face the different success. So at the end of the video, you can just see how the mom feels a little bit more of realization. She's just having her bath, having some she time just to relax and think about herself, rather than at the beginning of the video it was all chaos. And if they don't take the app, maybe they just don't have only like the product that they're just offering, but they try to make the mom feel, or the moms feel, that her life is going to be just the same way they used to be before. So this is just like the different ways you can use the storytelling within your marketing collateral. Okay, so we just saw an example of how you can use it in a video. Of course, you can use it, as I already told you, in different things. You can use this framework to write your website copy. You can use this framework to do your email blast. You can use this framework to build your advertising copy and all this. So now we're just going to take a deeper look in other examples. But first, I want you to understand that this framework could be used in different things. Okay, so now we're just going to take a look at a pretty common question I already have, which is, how many scripts do you need? Or the question is, how many scripts do I need? This is one of the scripts, okay? The script is pretty much the same, and you might want to do, or you might want to develop at least 2 of those scripts within your business, okay? The first one is going to be at the company level, which is going to help you write your website copy and to develop your value proposition. Maybe all those elements, you can also use them for your blast or your newsletters and all this. So this is the first and most important thing you should start doing now. Develop one of those brand scripts with all these elements following the examples we already talked about at the company level. So you're just going to think about which is the main character in your story, which is your customer. What do they want? What are the problems they are facing? Of course, the external problem is going to be the tangible problem, is going to be the right way your product or service is going to help them, okay? But you also take in mind the internal and the philosophical problem as well. Of course, your business is going to be the guide in the story. You will have empathy and authority, and we're just going to see in a minute how you can use this in your website. You're just going to give them a plan, which is how they can interact with your company, with your business to thrive, okay? There's going to be a main call to action. And of course, if they follow your path, if they just get your product or service, they're going to succeed. Otherwise, they might get stuck in the same place they are right now, or even worse. Okay, so now let's go back here. And the second script that you should have is at the level of your product or at the level of your service. Okay, and once you do this for your product or your service, in case you have many of them, it's just going to help you define your unique selling proposition. It's just going to develop your sales pages for your products. It's going to help you do your advertising copy. It's going to help you have all the elements put in place for your email marketing automation. So you should have at least one of those 2. If you only have one single product or one single service right now, you should just start with the company level at least, doing this for your business in general, and you should be able to have all the elements put in place to develop your website copy and maybe your marketing funnels, okay? But at least you should be working on at these 2 levels to develop one of those scripts at these 2 levels. So what I want you to do is to develop first your script at the company level. You're just gonna think about your character, the problem they're facing, how you can help them, the plan that you're just gonna provide them. Think about what's the right call to action to them to start a relationship with your business. And of course, you have to identify the way you're going to help them have success with your product or service. And you also have to identify what will happen in the case that they don't take your product or service. Maybe they're just going to get stuck in the same state they are. Or what could even happen if maybe the situation could turn even worse, okay? So we're just going to see a couple of examples right now, or some case studies on how some companies have used this same script to develop their website copy and the structure they put it in place. So at the end of this masterclass, you have all the elements so you can just replicate the same process in your business. So again, one more time, I'm just going to go ahead and pause this video, and I'm just going to show you how this script is used in this company, so they can just lay out the right words and the right layout in their website. So I'll be right back with you in just a minute. Okay, welcome back. And now what I want to do is just to show you a couple of examples of two companies who have used the same script we just talked about. And once they filled out that script, they were able to develop the right words and the right structure for their website, okay? I have no affiliation whatsoever with these companies. I just want to show you because I'm certain that they follow this path to develop their websites. So I think they're just great matches and great examples, so you can have an idea how you can use it as well for your business, okay? So let's see. Our first example is this company, Liberty ID, and what they sell is any kind of insurance in case you ever suffer from identity theft, okay? So one of the first things you might have, or you might want to have in your website, if you will, is a hero shot with a picture of your character, your ideal customer. It could be either in the before state or ideally in the after state. In this case, they have chosen to put their character in the before state. So as you can see, they're just a little bit worried, maybe because they're just facing the same problem. Maybe they were just victims of identity theft. So the first things, and you will see this clearly along the website, all the elements we just talk about in the script. But what they just have here is just, first they have a tagline where they just describe the problem, okay? So right here is just describing specifically the external problem. And they're saying 1 of 3 people have their identity stolen. Don't wait for it to happen to you. Be prepared with Liberty ID. Okay, so now you can just start identifying the right elements that you should have in your website. So first is this hero shot with either a picture of your customer either in the before state or the after state. The second thing you can just clearly see here is the call to action, okay? The same call to action we're just talking about in their script, they just have it here. And this is pretty clever and pretty important. I want you to see it. The right upper corner of your website, this is just pure magic. This real estate area of your website is just very, very important, which is why you should have your main call to action in there. Okay, their call to action is get protected. Of course, it's just gonna buy my product. Okay, and these two call to actions in their case, they're just the same. I guess they're just testing different words, but it'll take you to the same place, so you can see the main call to action very clear in there, in both the right upper corner of the page and as well as in the hero shot. This is a secondary call to action. This is optional. You might have it or not in your website. If you want them to take a different action, you can also have it in there. Okay. Now, what else do they have in here? They have this. This is what? This is authority. Okay. So we just saw in the script that there's always a guide in our story. Of course, in this case, the guide is this company. and they are just showing authority here. Okay, they're saying our success rate for restoring stolen identities is 100%. Okay, this is authority. They are just showing results in here. Okay, now what you can just as well see in here is the plan. You remember the one of those plans that we just talked about in a little bit? Okay, here's the plan. First step is just get protected, second step is contact us, and third step is get everything back. So here you're just following that brand script and putting their 1 to 3 step plan in their website, okay? And this is so handful and very well thoughtful as well, because usually people don't tend to buy the products that look better, but the products that they understand the more. Okay, so that's why it's very important for your business to have a clear message, because if you can just transmit the right message and connect with your customers, it's just gonna be easier for them to understand your product and just gonna go ahead and buy it. Okay, now look at here. Here again, this is authority in their website. There are just some publications where they have been featured in, and it's just keep showing more authority for them as the guide of the story. Okay. What else do we have here? Again, they're just showing the problem. Okay. So as we saw here, they just talk about the character, which in this case it could be everyone actually, because everyone could be facing identity theft. So it is very broad product. Okay. So they're just talking about the problem in here. But the coolest thing in here is they're just gonna start taking the two-way path I just talked about. So first, they're just talking about the failure aspect, okay? If you don't get protected, you could face this kind of failure, okay? But in other case, if you do get protected, this is the success you will have in case you buy their product. Okay, so this is very clear how you took all that script and how you just identify the different story elements, such as the characters, such as the problem, such as the guide, the plan, the call to action, which was just get protected, and of course the results. And they're just taking all that information which was in that script, and they're just translating it into their homepage of their website. Okay. Let's see what else do they have in here. They have a showcase of their different products, or in this case, their different coverage, which in your case, if you have more than one product, of course, you should have them showcase, or at least the most popular of them within your homepage, which is what they're doing right here. Okay. And finally, they are just going again a little bit more deeper. They're just talking about the before state and the after state. They are again talking about the failure state or the success state of the story in case they take their coverage. Okay, and once again the call to action. So this is pretty clever. This is a pretty well done website, and I believe the message is super clear. And I know, as a matter of fact, that they did follow this script to develop their website. Okay, now let's take a look to another example so you can have a better idea of how you can use this within your business. So this is a information product. Basically, what they do is just train marketing teams within different companies. And here again is the hero shot. In this case, it's kind of like in the process. It's not either before or the after state, but it's just showcasing the character and the guide in this case. And with a pretty clear tagline, which is, we help transform ordinary marketing teams into well-oiled sales-getting machines. Okay, so pretty straightforward. As you can see again, in the right upper corner is their main call to action, which is like a free trial, and they do have it again here in the hero shop. They do have as well a secondary call to action, which is learn more, and it's going to take you to the rest of the page. Right here they have some of their clients, so this is pretty much authority. Okay, you could do it in your case either showcasing client testimonials. You could do it showcasing your clients, your results, maybe publications where you've been featured in. That are like different ways where you can just show your authority. Now, what do we have here? We have the plan, okay? 3-step plan that they have developed to deploy and to deliver their product. Okay, so first is automate the training process. Second is uplevel your existing team, and third is improve your retention. So pretty clever in there, and they are just putting in place their marketing plan for their product. And right here, what they have is just showing the different elements which are inside the product. Okay. Now, how it works. Again, they're just going deeper and deeper on how their product works, which is pretty much going deeper in the 3-step plan. This is what they're doing here. And you could also do it as well in your business. And this is pretty clever. They're just showing how would this affect the different ideal customers. So this could work for team leads, directors and VPs, agency owners, founders and CEOs, marketing professionals. And what they are doing here is just showing how their product is going to take the before and the after state for every one of these avatars in the business. Here again are customers' testimonials. So this is authority. And as well, they're just showing more authority here and just showcasing what makes them different. Okay. And finally, in this area, what they're doing is just showing the success and the failure state. Okay, this is pretty important. And this is not what, for any means, like any kind of manipulative thing where you just want to try to play tricks in the mind of your customers. But think more this about like you're in the obligation to show them how could their life be with your product, and also what are the problems that they might face in case they don't follow your path. Okay, so this was pretty clever. Again, they're just showcasing the the success and the failure path. And again, their main call to action and the secondary call to action. Okay, so we just saw a couple of case studies when I showed you how those companies used this brand script to put all the information in place and then translate it into their home pages of their website. What I want to do now is just like show you in a brief way what are the elements that you should have in place once you fill your brand script, so you can just replicate the same process in your business. Okay, so first, as we saw, they have 3 main things in here. First is a hero shot showcasing the after or the before state of your ideal customer. My suggestion is always try to do the after state, but there are some cases where you might want to use the before state, just like they did in here, because you just want to put a little bit or more like urgency in their product. Okay, so if that's the case of you want to put a little bit of urgency, you should do the before state. Otherwise, I highly recommend you to put a picture of your customer in their after state. Okay, remember, always your customer is the hero of your story. Okay, so here should be your customer instead of you, in case you're just one of those coaches who put their picture just in the above of the fold of their website. So just think a little bit about more of that, and try to put or try to place your customer as just the guide of this story. Okay. Second, what they have in there is just a pretty clear tagline where they're just showcase the problem, either the problem or the benefit of their product. And third thing they have in there is their call to action. Okay, this is pretty important. I highly recommend you use both the up right corner and on the hero shot as well. If you want to just go ahead and put in the hero shot, that's fine, but you'll see way better results if you put it in those two places, okay? The second thing you might want to use within your homepage of your website is authority. So you already built this brand script, you already established yourself as the guide, and now it's time to put some authority in there that is gonna build a little bit more trust from your prospects, okay? Third thing you should have in your website is your plan. So we already saw there's a plan that you're just gonna take your customers into a journey, and one day just go into that journey, you're just gonna solve their problem. So you should put that plan in here as well in the homepage of your website. What else do they have here? They have the after stage. They have the success stage, or they as well have the failure stage. So they're showcasing here the problem. Again, they're just agitating the problem a little bit. They're showing what could be the failure state if they don't get the product. And after that, they're just showing what is going to be like their success state in case they just follow and buy their product, okay? So this is another pretty cool element that you should have in your website to clarify your message and of course to connect in a deeper way with your prospects. What else you should have in there? In case you have different products, you should have all of them showcased in there. If you only have one product or one service, of course it should be in your homepage as well, okay? It doesn't really matter if it's 20 or just one. If you have a lot of products, just showcase the most popular or the most important for your company. But if you have only one, of course you should showcase it in your homepage, and of course leave a button where they can just purchase it or learn more about it, okay? Once again, what you should always be included in there is several call to actions. Of course, the main call to action should be placed in different zones on your homepage. And again, what they had in here, and you should try as well, is show the before, the after state, is show the failure state or the success state. Okay, remember the failure is what your customers, or in this case your prospects, if you will, should face in case they don't just get your product. Okay, so now what I would love you to do is just think about a little bit, take the time to fill out this brand script, and now use that information to both develop your homepage of your website and as well do it at the product level. Remember, we talk about that you should do this in two different levels. The first level is the company level. This is going to be pretty general and is basically how your company take that character, that user into this journey. And the second level is how your specific product take them in that journey. So when you do it at the company level or the corporate level or the global level, you'll be able to do this and use this information for your website copy, and I just highly encourage you to do so and to do it right now. And second of all, at the product level, it's just going to help you develop a better sales page, a better email blast, and so on. Okay, so having that said, now it's your turn to clarify your message and sell more.